We just sort of had a journey as to how retail evolved over the last 2 years. What's your visibility for 2022?
Well, I think we thank our lucky stars every day that we're not in the tailored clothing business, making, present company excluded neckties and sport coats and tuxedos, because people have adopted a lifestyle that's reflective of what they wear, and it's really, in many ways, an outdoor lifestyle. So it's been great for our business, and I think the expectations for 22 and beyond are going to be the same, or more outdoor activities for families and people who are interested in staying healthy and safe.
Tim, the real surprise to me was not actually on the front end. I think it was logical that a lot of retailers went to e-commerce. We just accelerated a trend that we've already been on. I think the real surprise that came out of the pandemic for a lot of people when it came to the retail sector was the supply chain story. It wasn't the demand side, it was the supply side. In terms of how much progress has been made there, what is your perspective? We've clearly seen bottlenecks continuing. Are they abating? What lessons have you learned in terms of managing supply chains over the last two years? What can you take forward from here?
Well, our company, like many others, had a very heavy reliance on Vietnam, primarily because Vietnam had a terrific labor force, very high quality labor operators, and the government of Vietnam had done a terrific job of negotiating with various vendor countries, including the U.S., Russia, Canada, et cetera, on favorable duty rates. So it was a naturally good place to go get merchandise made that's high quality. I think what we've learned is, that you should have some sort of variation in your sourcing base, which we have, and that's been a learning for us. I would say that the constraints around the logistics area that we've all talked about ad nauseum have been much more pronounced in the U.S. than they have been in other parts of the world.
Yeah, I'm assuming, Tim, I'm assuming you're talking about things like labor, for example, and I'm wondering, what is your biggest inflationary headache, and how do you see that evolving? Is it permanent? Does it revert back?
No, as I said, it's really the biggest impact for us has been the logistics issues, primarily getting merchandise from Asia to the U.S. We ship merchandise all over the world from Asia, and by far the biggest impact has been in the U.S., where established processes for receiving merchandise are just not as forward or as advanced as they are in other parts of the world. So I would expect that over time there will be additional investments in automation in the supply chain, and that will, ultimately end up moderating the impact of the labor cost increases that we've seen.
Tim, can I come back to the demand side of the equation? The U.S. consumer is now facing higher gasoline prices, higher heating bills, higher mortgage costs. It just goes on and on and on.
Yep.
What impact do you think that's going to have on discretionary spend? What impact is that going to have on people wanting to spend money on your gear?
Well, again, it's hard to know, but Americans and consumers in general are going to be buying merchandise. They're not going to stop completely. So our job is going to be to outcompete for consumers' discretionary spend. And we think, being in the outdoor business, the outdoors are available to everyone, and they can be inexpensive. People can go for a hike at a park. They can spend time outside with their kids. They can go play golf at a municipal golf course, or really anywhere. And those are not expensive activities, and people can be safe there. And we've seen a tremendous uptick in the activities that are in the outdoors.
Hey, Tim, before we let you go, can you give us a real-time indicator on what's happening with Omicron? Are you dealing with any staff outages? Are you shutting down anywhere? Are you noticing any change in really short-term spending patterns?
Well, I can tell you our operations in Switzerland have been reduced significantly. They've reduced the amount of people allowed to go into the office. It's mostly work from home. And so those are areas where we've seen impact really real time.